Up next on RaceSpotTV and iRacing Live is the finale to the 60 plus racing adventures at Snetterton. Once home to the 386th and 96th Bombardment Group of the United States Army Air Force, but today, home to round 12, the finale of the 60 plus Racing Adventures 2018 Season 1 here at Snetterton Racing Circuit in Norfolk. Not quite realistic weather, it should be completely white at the moment, but anyhow, we will get on with it. Two exciting races here today, full of action-packed, and we hope you enjoy it. Jack Stiles alongside Sam Fitzpatrick with Hugo Luis up in the production truck. And Sam, we're expecting some good racing here today.
Yeah, absolutely. This circuit really has a strong slipstream effect. The ProMaster, of course, as everyone knows, very effective in the slipstream, so we should see some really good racing out there. I seriously doubt the leader's going to pull away, so should be really good.
And obviously, we're just going to have a quick look at your championship points before we head down to the grid for the first race. Stephen Roestjen is currently at the top of the pile. Jos van der Ven is second. Keen to point out that Stephen Roestjen isn't here today, so Jos van der Ven, all he needs is an 8th position and he will take the title. Martin Grinnan is going to be 3rd and Mark Robertson in 4th. John Morgan 5th, John Unsby 6th, and Stephen Karkner is going to be 7th. Bruce Paul in 8th, Donald Fiddler in 9th, and Andrew Fiddler is going to round out your top 10 in the championship. And heading down to your starting grid for race number 1 here at Snetterton. Bit of a shortened pace lap here, but it's going to be your pole position going to Manning Grinnan with a 1 minute 5 seconds 0.6. Jos van der Ven is going to line up second with Stephen Kartner in 3rd. John Morgan is going to be 4th today with John Unsby in 5th. Bill Lawrence is going to be lining up 6th with Andrew Fiddler alongside him. Mark Robertson in 7th and Gerard Larson in 8th. Kenneth Baldwin in 9th, and John Hill is going to be rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, and just behind John Hill, Bruce Paul, followed by Charles Gilly, Fred McIntosh, Remigo de Pasqua, Joel Martin, Richard Klum, Paolo Bonesra, David Riley, and Gianni Respaldo.
21st is going to go to Bob Kern, 22nd to Jose Carlos Campo Danico, 23rd to PJ Sally. Michael Knapp is going to finish start 24th. John Fletcher is going to round out your grid in 25th. And the cars get rolling. Manning Grinnan is going to be controlling the start as we come round towards your final corner now. Hang on. And coming round to take the start, Manning Grinnan is going to hold up your pace. He's going to go, and he's gone early. I think that may be too early there for Manning. He backed off and he overtook the pace car. I think that's going to be classed as a jump start. John Unsby is going to take big advantage of that jump straight into the lead there going on the start. John and everyone else just looks like they're going to be filing through behind.
Yeah, seems like quite a clean start, I must say. But yeah, a big error on the start there from Grinnan, and Van der Ven now into the lead. He's got a little bit of a gap, but I doubt he's going to be able to pull away in these opening few laps.
I doubt it as well. I think it's all going to be very close, especially with the draft. We've got 2 long straights here at Snetterton. The Bentley straight, the back straight, and the Senna straight is the main straight. Everywhere else you've got these fast corners as they now come down through. I'm trying to remember the corner names actually. Murray's and Brundle, I believe that is, down towards the bomb hole, which has obviously got that dip relating back to how this circuit used to be as an Army Air Force base, coming around through Coral Bend, flat in 5th usually in these cars, but I think you're going to see Manning Grinning lifting off into Murray's for the first time, and he's just going to be up the back of Jos van der Ven, not going to be close enough to make a challenge there, Sam.
Yeah, but he's easily keeping up, and I think he can choose when to make the move. I think we just got side by side just in the background. I think that John Morgan just losing a position there
to
John
Sam, sorry,
Unsby.
just cut the back of your pack here, and it looks like we've had a big incident coming through Murray's. Paolo Bonacera, I think that was. No, Richard Coulomb, sorry, lost it coming out of Murray's, and involved in that was David Riley and Bob Kern. I think Bob just managed to get away with it, but David Riley has got big damage on that car. Bob Kern did go for a spin, though, on the exit.
Yeah, just Coulomb just seemed to carry a little bit too much speed. Didn't get any damage, but he returned to the pits. But yeah, a couple of cars getting damaged there, and certainly not set up to their race that they wanted.
Certainly isn't. Jos van der Ven is going to be carrying on, continuing to lead in that 167 machine, coming through the bomb hole for the second time. Manning Grinning is going to be in second, Stephen Cartner in third. That is currently your top 3. It will change before the end of this race, though, as they come through Coram down to Murray's for the second time. Very fast lap here, Sam. These races, we've got a 23 lap race here, limited to 30 minutes, and you don't usually hit the time limit, but everyone at the moment just seems to be like they're settling down into a rhythm. Few gaps opening up here and there. Are just working back through the field, as we see side by side between Andrew Fiddler and John Morgan. This is for P number 5 and 6. They're going to go side by side through Ritchie's. Fiddler is going to get loose there, and it just looks like John Morgan. But look at this, Bill Lawrence from up behind. He's going to be putting in a challenge now.
Yeah, Fiddler nearly made that one, but really good around the outside by Morgan. Doubt we're going to see that later on in the race as the rubber or the marbles build up on the outside of the circuit, but that was good bravery from him late in the brakes into turn 2 and maintained the position.
Certainly did, and throughout the field, I think you'll agree, Sam, we're just seeing a few battles here and there. Joel Martin versus Kenneth Baldwin going down the Bentley straight into the corner of Murray's, I believe is the first one. It used to be the S's, that's how I know it, and Joel Martin is just going to back out there. Obviously, another thing to note, Sam, is everyone in this series running fixed setup, so everyone is on the same level, and no one has got an advantage over anyone else like you'd see in an open setup series.
Yeah, it's really good to see, and it brings out the talent in these drivers. They've really got to adapt to the car, even if the setup doesn't quite suit their driving style. They've just got to adapt to it. And Joel Martin, they're just going a little bit wide. I wonder if Fred McIntosh is going to have a run at him here. Yeah, he is. He's going to go around the outside. Good cover to the inside there by Joel Martin. But I think McIntosh might actually have the pace around the outside here if he's brave enough. No, just going to back out, and I don't think he's going quite be close enough for turn 2, but very much on his tail now.
Looking back towards your lead, Manning Grinning has now lost the back of Jos van der Ven. Van der Ven's got his lead out to 3/10 now, which in these cars, especially at a draft circuit like this, Sam, is a big gap. But look at that. Stephen Cartner with the lunge coming into the second part of the S's, and just not going to be able to get it done through the bomb hole. We're seeing 1, 2, 3 running in a long line. John Unsby has dropped back a little bit. A little bit of a gap back then to John Morgan. Andrew Fiddler is going to be running in 6th. At the moment, everyone sort of the top 10 looks like they're a little bit spaced out. Actually, I say that we've got a little bit of a train running from P5 down to P8. That is John Morgan, Andrew Fiddler, Bill Lawrence and Mark Robertson. Everyone else after that just seems a little bit spread out now. There seems to be obviously a few issues in the first lap. In fact, actually, what's happened to John Martin? He's slow.
Yeah, did not see what happened there, but I'll just rewind, see what. Yeah, he's had a spin coming out of the S's.
He hit the sausage dog curb.
Yeah, he went really slowly over it. It's trying to get away with it, but that sausage dog curb is just so large, and yeah, he was always going to struggle there and lost a lot of time. So he's lost, I think, 5 positions because of that. So going to be a long road back for him now.
Exactly. Charles Gilliatt just managed to make up a position. That was on the car of Gerald Fleurisson. In fact, actually, I saw some smoke up ahead. Fleurisson has had contact with the car of John Hill, the number 80 machine. He got up on 2 wheels and went into the barriers on the exit of Ritchie's, the first corner here, and he just looks, he's lost a couple of positions. And actually, is he getting even worse for Gerard? He's been rear-ended by another car. Just trying to find out who that is. That is the number 13 machine, I believe. No, that is not the number 13 machine. That is the number 15 machine of Kenneth Baldwin just tapping him coming down the Bentley straight. Baldwin must have damage from that, but it looks as though, the day for, I'm trying to remember who that was now. The J for Charles Gilly, maybe? No, I've forgotten who it was, is already over.
Yes, very chaotic incident there. Gerard just lost it down the straight, and yeah, certainly gonna have to come back later on. And I think it may have actually been netcode why Gerard got spun that second time, but yeah, back to the pits for him, and he's going to be out of this race.
Sorry, Sam, we've had another incident. You've just seen it on your screens between John Fletcher and Jose Carlos Campodonico, the number 44 and the number 46. That was actually quite a big accident there through turn one, both ending up in the cornfields. Carlos Campodonico was on his roof in the cornfields, so not the way that those two would have wanted to end their day. That's definitely a bit of a death sentence, especially here at Snetterton. Anyone who watches real motorsport. And oh my word, I've just gone back to look at our leader coming out of the final corner. He has spun it. He is round and on the grass on the exit of, I can't remember the corner, Murray's. And Jos van der Ven is already losing places. He was on for a race win here, Sam. He is down to P number 7, now P number 8. His championship looks like he may be slipping away from him.
Yeah, he may have to come back for the second race to clinch it, but it just got a little bit too wide. Everyone's going wide there onto the grass, and it's just so risky because you can spin up the tyres, and that's what happened. Took him a while to get back onto the circuit, so he can maybe recover to maybe a P3, could still get a podium from here, but certainly the race win is completely out of the question. He was looking so strong, driving so well, but yeah, made that mistake.
Everyone else up and down the field, we have got a few trains, and we've got so many places we can look at the moment. We haven't got enough pairs of eyes, and even with sort of 3 pairs of eyes on this, it still isn't enough. We're going to go for this battle between the 66 and the 4, Amigo de Pasqua and Giles Jelly. Giles Jelly looks like he just gave up that position coming into the first part of the S's, and then maybe he will challenge coming towards the end of the lap. Let's have a look now. No, I think he's too far back. Amigo de Pasqua is going to be promoted up into P number 11. And he is now, his next sight is going to be around 5.5 seconds up the road to Bruce Paul and John Hill.
Yeah, that's going to be quite a difficult challenge, but perhaps if Hill and Paul fight each other for a bit, he can maybe gain a bit of time, but he's got quite a bit of damage on that rear wing there. Don't know what quite happens to him, and on the front wing as well, so he's bound to be losing some straight line speed due to that, and round here that's going to really cost him.
Straight line speed is a big thing around here. I mean, you've the 2 straights, you've also got the fast bend of Coram. I'm just watching our lead battle at the moment. Manning Grinnan and Stephen Cartner are going to go nose to tail down the back straight, coming through the S's for the 8th time. Nothing going to happen there between those two. They're just going to run line astern. Stephen Cartner just waiting for his moment to get past that car of Manning Grinnan. Manning Grinnan, it should be pointed out as well, he is currently leading the subcategory for people who are over the age of 70. Obviously, this series is named the 60 Plus Racing Adventures for a reason. It is a home for people who are over the age of 60, just slightly older than your average iRacing user that we usually see, who just want somewhere nice and clean and fun to come and race. And this usually does throw up some of the best racing we see, or I ever see, as we also look like Bill Lawrence has managed to get past John Morgan on the straight, and they're going to be going side by side for Andrew Filler and John Unsby into turn 1. Unsby looks like he's just kept that, although nearly lost it there, Sam.
Yeah, that was very tight, and actually just behind Bill Lawrence, coming under pressure, and Bill Lawrence goes down the inside, in fact, of Andrew Fiddler, so that's a really good move from Bill Lawrence, and there's quite a big queue now, and at the rear of it we've got Jos van der Ven, so he's just going to have to pick these drivers off one by one, but he's got to get a move on because he's going to struggle to keep in touch with Bill Lawrence and John Unsby up the road.
Now obviously we know Van der Ven is fast. He qualified 2nd for this race. He's currently down in P8. As it stands, that would be enough for him to take the championship. Our championship leader, Stephen Roaston, is not present here today, so Jos van der Ven needs 18 points to win, or in other words, an 8th place finish. And obviously in this series, your best position out of both races is counted towards the championship. So at the moment, Jos van der Ven is on to win the championship. Stephen Roaston might make a surprise appearance for the second race. We do not know yet. We will not be able to tell you whether Van der Ven has taken the championship until at least the start of the second race. At the moment, looking like everything going into turn 1 with your top 10 is nice. And
Karkner's off. Karkner's had an off at turn 1. He has lost about 3 seconds, hasn't lost any positions, but that's really disappointing. Overtaking traffic, I think, and he's just completely misjudged that turn 1. So gone miles off the track, and that's his chance of the win over. So really disappointing there, because he was driving really well there with Stephen, but perhaps just pushing a little bit too hard, perhaps a lack of concentration, but he's just got to make sure that he holds on to P2 now, because John Unsby is not too far behind.
That's just unlucky there for Stephen. Just looks like he managed to miss the corner. Although he hasn't really lost much time to Manning Grinnin there, Sam. Oh no, he has. Sorry, I'm a little bit behind. Manning Grinnin looks like he's just driven off into the distance now. Maybe can't have had more issues. No, he didn't. That's a back marker I was looking at, because they've both got the same colour car on my screen. So Manning Grinnin is currently going to be leading your race by 4 seconds. He has got a comfortable gap at the front of this field, and I believe he will just carry on going away.
Yeah, he's gonna just make sure that he hangs on to this one. Jos van der Ven, just watching him now, and he's really close up to Mark Robertson, but he hasn't been able to make an impression yet. A little bit too far behind, I think, going into turn 2. Yeah, he is. But he just needs to set this one up. The problem for him is that Robertson has a slipstream from the cars ahead, so he's really struggling to get the overspeed, and they're all still very close to each other in that kind of P3 to P8 battle.
The only way that I can see Jos van der Ven, sorry, being able to get past the cars ahead of him is either they make a mistake, he gets an absolutely incredible run out of Wilson, the second corner, the hairpin named after the late great Justin Wilson, or even a lunge down into the S's. I think that is the only way he's going to make it past Sam. Other than that, I cannot see, because these cars are also equally paced down that back straight.
Yeah, certainly seems that way. And that back straight, it is long, but it's not like Interlagos long, for example, where you can really get slipstream around. Just ahead of him now, Mark Robertson right on the tail of John Morgan. He's going to go down the inside into turn 1. Can he hold it on the inside? Not quite. He just backed out of that, and he's now going to be under pressure, and Jos is off the track around the outside. Robertson really early on the brakes there, and Jos van der Ven has managed to overtake him around the outside, so that's one position gone, and like you said, it was an error from Robertson, which has given van der Ven the opportunity.
Jos van der Ven didn't. Sterling job not to put it in the wall there, running wide. He had all 4 wheels off the track and in the gravel. That gravel trap and that grassy area is known for being a bit touchy when it comes to cars, especially downforce cars here at Snetterton. You'll usually either find yourself in the wall or in the cornfields, and obviously if you're in the cornfields, that's day over. You're in about 10 feet worth of corn. You have got no chance of getting your car out of that, Sam. And if you're in the walls, same again. You go, oh, actually, Jos van der Ven is off. He is off at Murray's. He just got loose under braking. Didn't touch the grass or anything. He's gone off. He is rejoining the circuit. He has lost positions. He is now down to he's back to P8 actually. So still in the fight for the championship. I think the pressure's maybe getting onto him. John Hill is now only around a second behind. This could be interesting to watch towards the end of this race. Basically, if John gets past, Jos has to race the second race and do well above P8 as long as Stephen Roschen doesn't turn up to be able to win the championship.
Yeah, I think he's just going to be driving in the middle of the circuit now, just taking absolutely no risk. But that one, he just stepped a wheel going into the final corner, and did actually well to keep it out of the barrier. Had all 4 wheels locked, I think, on the grass, but did well not to cause any damage, and he'll just be super cautious from now on, be happy with the P8. I'm not sure if he's actually done the maths, so I guess he doesn't know whether he's in championship winning position or not, so that could be a bit of a disadvantage, and he might still try to catch those ahead, but he's a long way behind, nearly 5 seconds behind, and we saw earlier he doesn't have that much speed open, and of course all the cars fixed set up, so he's going to struggle to make that up.
Hang on, Sam, just give me a second. I just seen a car go off at the final corner. I don't know who that
Mark
was.
Robertson.
Was it Mark Robertson?
Yeah, and I think he's hit the wall.
He looks like it. Yes, he has heavy damage. He has gone. He did the same thing. He just got it loose coming through Coram on the brakes, got it on the grass, and he was just unlucky. He hit the sausage dog curb. He had nowhere to go. Left-hand side into the wall. He is crabbing onto pit lane to get repairs, but that is unfortunate there for Mark Robertson. There you go. You're seeing it on your screens. Mark Robertson there out of the race for Team Morgan. That is unlucky for the American. He has got going again. One fast repair, obviously, or no fast repair. So he's obviously managed to get that damage repaired quickly. Obviously not too much to it, but he is back on the circuit down in P18, Sam. That, for Jos van der Ven, I think may have just sealed it. He's up to P7. We have a long way to go yet, 9 laps, 18 miles yet to go. Manning Grinning still at the front of your field.
Yeah, and that gap just maintaining, but yeah, that's just what Jos needed. He's 3 seconds ahead of John Hill now, so he's pulled out a nice gap, and yeah, 6.5 seconds behind John Morgan in 6th, so he's just going to be in that 7th position, and that should be enough to clinch the title as long as we don't get a surprise appearance in race 2.
You never know, anything could happen. This is motorsport. It might be 9 laps, it might be 900 laps. You never know. It's such an unpredictable sport. Manning Grinning currently at the top of your field. Stephen Cartner in 2nd. John Unsby is going to be holding 3rd. Bill Lawrence is holding 4th. Andrew Fiddler just behind him 5th. John Morgan 6th. Jos van der Ven 7th. John Hill and Bruce Paul, those two have had a good fight so far. They've unfortunately increased the gap between them, so that is not going to be happening anymore. Rigo de Pasqua is going to be rounding out your top 10. We are just past halfway. Lap 15 of 23. 8.5 laps to go for your leader at the moment.
Yeah, and he looks really strong out there, Manning Grinning. I think he's just making sure that he doesn't make any mistakes. He's got a... I think Unsby's just made a...
No.
Or...
Karkner's off.
Yeah.
What is it with Coram and all the drivers? That's the 3rd driver in 3 laps we've seen go off there. Kartner was lucky, he just got onto the grass and managed to stick it into a spin. He's going again. He's rejoined in 6th. He is ahead of Jos van der Ven, so no worry about him. Jos van der Ven stays in 7th, as we see Michael Knapp coming down into pit lane. Sam, if you want to go and investigate what's gone wrong with him. But Stephen Karkner there, that is a big change for him, as you see your biggest, or your top 15 currently on your screen, and how they have moved. Your biggest mover and shaker so far, or was, Michael Knapp. He is currently down onto pit lane. Other than that, it's going to be PJ Sally down in P15, up 8 positions on where he started, and obviously there you go. There's the rest of your field down through from P16 to P25, as you are currently looking at Stephen Cartner heading into the bomb hole.
Yeah, it's a weird one for Michael Knapp. He just spun coming out of Wilson and hit the wall kind of perpendicular to the corner, so that was really unlucky for him, I guess. And he's back to the pits, and I don't think he's actually left the pits yet, so that seems to be his race over. Hopefully we'll be back for race number 2. But Grinning with a 5-second lead. Bill Lawrence really close still, 0.4 seconds behind. I wonder if he's just been waiting for the move. He doesn't want to make it now. Just wants to make it with a couple of laps to go, so that it's so that he keeps the position and he doesn't lose any time to Andrew Fiddler just behind.
Yes, Bill Lawrence, we know is strong. He's going to be gaining on the car at John Unsby, coming down into Brundle. Brundle or Nelson are the 2 corners to the S's, Sam. I keep forgetting what they're called, but that is what they're called. Brundle the first part, Nelson the second part, for those who do not know. As Bill Lawrence wasn't able to get the move done. Coming through the bomb hole, there seems to be a bit of a gap between the two, roughly about half a second. Coming through Coram and down into Murray's, he's not going to be able to challenge. Maybe coming down, I think the best place to do it is coming out of Wilson. But who's this? I think it's Andrew Fiddler going to be bringing himself into the mix. We've got a 3-way fight for P2 here. It could be all or nothing. John Morgan could get P2 out of this.
Yeah, Fiddler's done really well just to close that gap on this lap, and he's now right into the slipstream, so he's just got to pick one after the other. But as we saw earlier, if Bill Lawrence keeps the slipstream, then it's going to be really difficult for Fiddler to make the move. So I think he's just got to wait for Lawrence to make the move on Unsby and just follow him through if he can. But this time he's still not that close as Lawrence. Just needs to get a little bit closer coming out of Wilson, and he should have a decent chance into the S's.
We're going to stick with this battle between Unsby, Lawrence and Fiddler. We just saw Bob Kern off to the side coming through turn 1. We'll have a look at that later. They're going to go side by side into Brundle. Nothing going to be done. They're going to get locked up. Unsby on the brakes hard into Nelson. Bill Lawrence just about avoiding Unsby and avoiding accident. Bill is just looking like he's going off. And Andrew Fiddler there running wide out of the bomb hole. He's going to lose a couple of tenths, not being able to run full throttle into Coram. Let's see what they can do this time. A little bit more spaced out, Sam. We only have 5 laps remaining, 10 miles left of this Snetterton 200 circuit. And here we go. Andrew Fiddler going to be gaining on Bill Lawrence, who's going to be gaining on Unsby. Unsby going to be holding second for now. The gap between the two, they're both all going to be covered by just under a second.
Yeah, this is Fiddler's chance now. Lawrence hasn't got much of a slipstream, but he's just fallen back a little bit there as Fiddler. And coming out, he's got to just nail Wilson if he possibly can and get the exit just right. But no, he's not going to be close enough down into the S's. I think Lawrence starting just to close in on Unsby again, down to 6/10. It had gone up to 9/10. And yeah, he should be back on him by the end of this lap. And the battle should be onto the back straight next time round.
4 laps remaining after this lap. Manning Grinning still leading the way. They're all going to bunch up coming through Nelson, this time down towards the bomb hole. Seems to be able that Lawrence and Fiddler are a lot better on the brakes than Unsby. And Lawrence now, he's going to be right up the rear end. You're going to be seeing on board from John Unsby looking back towards that number 17 machine of Bill Lawrence. They're going to be hard on the brakes for Murray's. Andrew Fiddler going to be closing up once again. Let's see if Lawrence has the draft coming down the main straight. Maybe, maybe not. He's just going to be hunched up behind him as we cross the line to start lap number 20 of 23. Unsby to the inside, Lawrence to the outside. Unsby has the better line. And oh, he gets loose. Will Lawrence be able to gain on him coming out of the corner up towards Wilson? And yeah, there's just going to be the block from Unsby that's going to stop him. Let's see what he can do down the straight.
Yeah, and Lawrence still just not quite close enough on the exit of Wilson. It's back up to 6/10. He just didn't quite nail that corner. And yeah, it's going to be difficult to catch him now. But Fiddler just made a bit of an error going into turn 1, and he really lost his chance to make a move. And just behind, actually, John Morgan started to close in again. So you never know, this could be a 4-way battle by the end if they keep on fighting like this.
I've seen John Morgan race previously, and he is lightning fast.
Second, third, and fourth. Karkner still really close to Fiddler. He's 4/10 behind. It's going to be difficult to catch up. We got 2 more laps to go this time round. So, yeah, going to be difficult to make the move.
Unfortunately, at the moment, we do not have a live video feed, just audio, so you are going to be listening to a radio RaceSpot broadcast of the final lap here at the 60 Plus Racing Adventures. 3 wide coming down into turn 1. John Unsby is going to be looking for the gap. Stephen Kartner there, almost running into the back of Andrew Fiddler, but John Unsby has managed to get his way back up into second. He's going to be giving many thanks in the paddock after this race to Jose Carlos Campo Danico. And let's just see, Stephen Kartner going to be running down in 4th position at the moment. He's gone from 2nd to 4th in one corner there, Sam.
Yeah, I didn't actually see what happened there, but yeah, it must have been a brilliant move. And Kartner really close to Fiddler going down into the S's. Is he going to go down the inside? Yes, he has. That's a brilliant move from Kartner. And he's up into 3rd place now, so that was really impressive. And I think Jos Vanderven spun it again. Yeah, he spun it. Oh, he's slow. Jos Vanderven is really... Oh no, he's got that going. I thought he may have run out of fuel there, but he was so slow across the grass. And he's just about going underway again.
And the leader is crossing the line to win race 1. Manning Grinning has won the first race of the 60 Plus Racing Adventures here at Snetterton. Is it going to be Andrew Fiddler? Who's going to cross the line second? It's going to be John Unsby. Stephen Kartner's going to be 3rd, Andrew Fiddler 4th, and John Morgan 5th. Sam, that was an incredible race to watch.
Yeah, it really, what a climax to that one. The battle for 2nd, 3rd and 4th was really intense at the end there. Just so many drivers, so many top drivers making errors out there. And yeah, really made for an interesting race, but Manning Grinning was the one driver out there who kept it clean, and he comfortably came away with the race victory.
It certainly is, and we're going to try and get a few of these drivers, or your top 3, into here to have an interview. But looking at someone called Fred McIntosh, looks like he has just spun coming out of the final corner there, and no contact involved. He just managed to get it wrong coming through Murray's on the power too early, got wide, and round he went. He's going to lose a few positions, but Jos Vanderven, Sam, he has got to be the story. He finished 17th. Not good enough to win the championship.
Yeah, that's bizarre. He came into the pits on the last lap. I don't know what happened there, but if you just go back on your replay, Jack, he just trundles into the pits on the last lap, so I don't know what's quite happened there.
Well, then that concludes race 1 here at Snetterton. Race 2 is coming up, but first of all, let's have a look at your official results. Manning Grinning is going to be taking the win in the number 47 machine. Joining him on the podium is going to be John Unsby in 2nd and Stephen Kartner in 3rd. Andrew Fiddler is going to be 4th with John Morgan in 5th, Bill Lawrence in 6th, and John Hill in 7th. Bruce Paul is 8th, Ramigo de Pascal is 9th, and Charles Gilly is going to be rounding out your top 10.
Yeah, and in P11, PJ Sally and P12 Gianni Raspaldo. Then it goes Mark Robertson, Kenneth Baldwin, Fred McIntosh, Paolo Bonacera, Jos van der Ven with that really weird race from him, Joel Martin, Bob Kern and David Riley rounding out the top 20.
21st is going to go to John Fletcher. 22nd is going to go to Jose Carlos Campodonico, who probably quite controversially got in the way of that P2-3-4 battle in the last couple of laps. Michael Knapp going to third, Gerald Ferguson. Now then, so obviously myself and Sam have just managed to run from the commentary box down the stairs and out towards the end of pit lane, where we'll be conducting interviews just in front of the podium. First of all, we're going to be joined by our third place finisher, Stephen Kalkner, and he is standing by with Sam.
Hi Steve, really well done on that third place there, so action-packed. What was your view on the just hecticness of that final few laps?
Well, it's a little difficult getting around the track. Can you hear me?
Yep, got you loud and clear.
Yeah, it's a little difficult getting around some of the lap effect there. I got pushed off the track a couple of times, but overall, I think if you just stay on the track, you'll finish and usually do well.
Yeah, and we saw some fantastic battling out there. Are you looking forward to race 2? Do you think you got a chance of repeating that result in race 2?
I think I got a chance. If I qualify high enough, I should be able to stay in the top 3 and maybe finish in first if I'm lucky. Congratulations to Manning and John. Good racing.
And Steve, before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank for? Obviously, we've still got one more race to go. We might see you back in here just in again.
Well, let's thank the race organizers, Joel and Mark. They do all the work around here, and all the other guys that do all the great efforts to make things happen. Mark's not gonna run some of the stuff this year in the next season, so I wish him well, and good luck, guys.
That is your third place finisher, yes, Stephen Kalkner. And we have been joined by one other person. I'm just trying to work out who it is, Sam. All I can see is Team RFC. So if you give us just a moment, we will find out who that is for you. But just reflect on that race, Sam. What do you think that was, or how do you think it went?
Well, initially it was, we were talking earlier on how there were a few gaps forming and it was a relatively normal race, but at the end, with the traffic around such a short circuit as this is, really played a part, and that second to fourth battle really got quite controversial in the end. I'm sure there'll be words after the race, especially from John Unsby, to what happened out there.
Yeah, and obviously we're just going to be looking towards the second race now, and I don't know whether we have any information on who else has joined us for an interview there, but looking forward to the second race. Obviously, Jos van der Ven has it all to play for. He needs to finish 8th or higher. I will go and find out for you. That may have changed with the point score from that race, Sam, but he needs to be 8th or higher to be able to get the championship.
Yeah, that was a weird race from him, and I think on that last lap he may have had a penalty of some kind, so he had to try to cancel the slowdown, but I think he may have got a stop-go penalty, which cost him like a time penalty at the end of the race. That's why we saw him going into the pit. So really weird race from Jos. I'm sure he doesn't usually deliver those races often with a few different mistakes, but I'm sure he'll be back for race 2 and certainly just trying to make sure that he clinches that championship, because could be quite complicated now.
Race 1 gave us lots of action. Race 2 is just going to be as action-packed. Coming up next here on RaceSpotTV, Race 2 of the 60 Plus Racing Adventures, the final round from Snetterton Racing Circuit in Norfolk, England. Jack Styles joined alongside me once again by Sam Fitzpatrick and Hugo Luis down in up in the production truck. Myself and Sam have been to Tyrrell's, had a nice bit of chips, fish and chips like we usually do when we're in there. And Hugo's just gone for had a quick look around the market, and we are back ready for race 2 and ready for all the action that comes. Sam, guess who's made a surprising appearance?
Yep, it is Stephen Rosgen. He is back, the championship leader. He needs to finish, we think, P6 to win the championship. So the championship picture has really changed. We saw Jos van der Ven have a very weird race last time. And yeah, he's going to really have to win this race, probably, to have any chance of the title.
He does, and the only way that Jos can actually win the title is if he wins the race and Stephen Rosgen finishes 8th place or lower. Other than that, Stephen Rosgen will take the championship. If he finishes 6th, he doesn't have to worry about Jos van der Ven. He will win, even if it's by 1 point. Stephen Rosgen has got it all to play for here in the second race. If van der Ven wins and Rosgen finishes 7th, then they tie, and it will go down to number of wins. That I am unsure of as to who will take the championship, as we are going to be heading down to the grid shortly. Now approaching the end of the 10-minute qualifying, it's going to be another 23 laps of action-packed racing with these Pro Masters. And with these guys, we've seen it before, we're going to see it again. Final race of the series. The adrenaline is going to be pumping as we head down to the grid.
Yes, and on pole position is Manning Grinnan. Brilliant drive from him earlier on, take the race victory, followed by Jos van der Ven and Stephen Rosgen. So that's going to be really interesting between those two. Stephen Karkner in 4th, Andrew Fiddler 5th, Bill Lawrence 6th, John Hill in 7th, Mark Robertson in 8th, John Unsby in 9th, and John Morgan in 10th.
11th is going to be Bruce Paul, and 12th is going to be Kenneth Wood. 13th, David Riley is going to line up with alongside him Fred McIntosh from 14th. Jared Thoresin is going to be hoping for better results in race number 2. He's going to be 15th, with Remigo de Pasqua in 16th. Gianni Rispaldo in 17th, Charles Gillian 18th, Bob Kern in 19th, and Jose Carlos Campo de Nico is going to be running out your top 20.
Yes, and in 21st position, Richard Valli, followed by Paolo Bonacera, Richard Colum, PJ Sally, Joel Martin, and John Fletcher rounds out your grid.
And obviously, we're just going to be waiting another minute or so before we get moving. Everyone's just going to be taking their positions. Everyone grids up just before quorum, so they don't have to do the full 2 miles. And around here, that would probably be quite a drain on these drivers because it's just driving straight. Sam, what are your thoughts heading into the final race?
Well, I'm really looking forward to the championship battle, see if there's perhaps some tactics from Jos. I'm sure he's not going to intentionally take out his rival, neither will Stephen. I imagine these are good races, but yeah, certainly going to be, even if it is just a fight for 2nd and 3rd between those two, still going to be important for pride, and I think Jos will really want a good end to the season to at least show that he is capable of taking the title.
And as we're going to be heading down, we're going to be moving in just a few seconds now. Manning Grinnan once again is going to be taking the pole with a 105.551. Jos van der Ven is going to be alongside him. Stephen Rosgen hoping for a good start, because I think that's the only way he's going to be able to take the win here, Sam. And it's going to be interesting to see how these points play out. And we are rolling here. Manning Grinnan is going to be controlling the field. And for your start, we are going to go RaceSpot Fan Immersion. be safely and cleanly away from the start there. Manning Grinnen is going to be leading your field. Stephen Royston has managed to get the jump on Jos van der Ven. Obviously managed to get that down into turn 1. He is now going to be on the tail of Manning Grinnen in the number 47. Your race 1 winner. And is he going to be able to take all glory in race 2? Or is the number 60 machine of Stephen Royston, who we saw dominate at Mid-Ohio just a few weeks ago? They're going to go side by side into Brundle. And Stephen Royston there. Easy pass for the lead, Sam.
Yeah, superb move for the lead there, and well, third to first and half a lap. That's really a mark of a champion, isn't it? And I'm sure it's going to stay close between those top 3, probably top 4 as well. Actually, no, I think yeah, Jos van der Ven's lost another position to sorry, my overlay's slightly messed up, but oh, he's a little bit wide here. Is Van der Ven, and he's side by side now with Steven Karkner. These two had a little bit of a battle in the previous race, but Karkner around the outside. There's also Andrew Fiddler involved as well, and Jos van der Ven just about holds on to the position, but not the start he wanted.
We saw 3 wide there from the 101, the 75 and the 67. That is your 3rd, 4th and 5th position place cars. We've just seen Ramigo de Pasqua come down onto the pit lane. Very short pit lane as well here at Snetterton. I wonder why that was happening. Maybe you could go and find out for me, Sam. But at the moment, Stephen Royston is going to be leading your field, heading down the Bentley Straight for the second time, a 23-lap race here. 21 laps remaining, still a long way to go yet. Manning Grinnen is second, right on his tailpipe, looking to get back that lead. Jos van der Ven is leading your train for 3rd, with Stephen Kartner, Andrew Fiddler, and then Bill Lawrence just tagging along at the back, almost like a bit of a 4th wheel here. He's got a little bit more of a gap, but he's still in range. John Hill is going to be 5th. Mark Robertson is 6th. We saw him have an incident coming down to Murray's. Hopefully we won't see that again. John Hunsby is a long way down the field in 9th there, Sam. John Morgan running out your top 10 after 2 laps, so Stephen Royston continues to lead, crossing the line.
Yeah, John Unsby just had a bit of a poor qualifying. He started in P9, so just hasn't had the pace in this second race, despite being so competitive in the first race. I think he got, did he get a podium, I think, in the first race? So he was really competitive, certainly, but yeah, just not the qualifying he needed. Jos van der Ven, much better lap that time. He is only a second behind Manning Grinnen, so he's just starting to close that gap down slightly, I think, and hopefully we will see a 3-0 battle. If he can just get within about 8 tenths, that toe effect will really assist him to catch the gap.
Stephen Royston setting your fastest lap of the race so far, a 1 minute 45.6. As we've also seen in the number 27 machine of John Martin. Not sure how he did it, Sam, but he got loose coming through the bomb hole by the looks of it, but he completely missed Coram. I've never seen someone in all my life just managed to get that corner so wrong. And for those who do not know, I am a local to the circuit. I live 20 minutes down the road and have grown up around here. I think I first went here when I was 3 months old, and so I know this place quite well, as we see Manning Grinnen and Stephen Royston once again going for it. But Sam, I don't know how John Martin managed that. He managed to just go all the way across the grass at Coram.
Yeah, I think he may have had a bit of contact beforehand, and I think maybe he damaged his steering slightly, because he was crabbing quite a lot across the grass, and yeah, that's pretty much his race over, I imagine, unless he's no, he's still back in the pit, so he's maybe getting repairs right now, but yeah, just a bit frustrating. He may have made contact with his own teammate, so really not the way he wanted his race to end.
Just confirming that he did have contact. We had 2 non-starters in this race. Paolo Bonacera and Richard Coulomb did not take the start. That is your number 37 and 67 machine. And Manning Grinnen as well has just set your fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 5.454. That is, I believe, quicker. That is quicker than any of the qualifiers. So Sam, that draft is clearly showing as he tries to go for a lunge into Murray's, not making it work there on Stephen Royston. Still P1 and P2. The gap between those is around, just trying to do a bit of mental maths in my head, around 8 tenths.
Oh, Andrew Fiddler's off. Andrew Fiddler has gone off again at Mose, as we've seen so often today. And he's gone into Narnia, so far off the track. And yeah, he's just lost the rear, I think, coming out of Mose once again. And he's lost so much time there just because he went so far off the track. And yeah, that'll be really frustrating for Andrew, because he drove a really good first race, but at least he'll get the points from that, I guess, and just try to make plenty of positions up now. He's down into 13th.
He managed to get out on the gravel coming out of Murray's. That gravel trap is like, it's a death trap basically. You hit that, you're going round, as we see a slow car coming out of Wilson. That is John Martin. He is currently 1 or 2 laps down, I believe. Bob Kern as well, down onto pit lane. Obviously, he's getting repairs. He's at 2.2 seconds shot. Richard Valley as well. He is down onto pit lane. everyone seems to be, pit lane seems to be popular so far, Sam.
Yeah, plenty of incidents. I guess I'll just try to catch up with a few of them, but yeah, Richard Valley's car seems to be relatively in one piece, to be honest. So I'm not quite sure if he's smashed into a wall or not, but yeah, plenty of incidents in these opening few laps. And in fact, yeah, he had a bit of contact with PJ Sally, and yeah, he just went into the rear of him. Both got damage, and they should be back on track. It's not too bad damage, but yeah, they'll be in the pits for a while.
Currently riding on board with your number 80 machine of John G. Hill. Currently sit down in P number 8, chasing John Unsby for P7. Although I'm looking back at the lead battle has now stretched out a little bit. Stephen Rostian has managed to get a bit more of a gap, and let's just see what they can do over the next few corners. Kenneth Baldwin as well looked like he had a bit of a bad lap there, Sam, and Andrew Fiddler, just to confirm, he is down 8 places so far. Biggest mover and shaker so far on this race, up 5 positions, is going to be the car of John Fletcher, down 4 because PJ Sally has managed to get past him. Whoa, PJ Sally with the snap oversteer through Ritchie's. He went one way, then the other, did very well to keep out of the wall, although he is not moving. I think there may be some damage on that car, but let's just see what he can do. As we're just in another pass, Andrew Fiddler has now managed to get back past the car of Kenneth Baldwin to make up another position, currently behind David Riley.
Yeah, and he's going to struggle to make up any more positions after he's got Riley, but it's another 7 seconds back to Bruce Paul. I don't know how that large gap has formed, but certainly seems to be quite a difference between kind of the top 10 and then everyone else. But Fiddler right on the tail right now, and he's on the inside, and he's made it. So good move there from Andrew Fiddler on David. Oh, and that's an off just behind. I wasn't sure that was Joel Martin just going off the track, and he's in the corner and he has stopped. So yeah, he's just returned to the pits. So not quite sure what happened there to Joel, but yeah, he's back into the pits.
Manning Grinning must be on fire at the moment. Not sure what he's done to that car since race 1 or race 2. He has set the fastest lap of the race, a 105.2, sorry. He is going quicker and quicker and quicker in that number 47 machine. Still on the tail of Stephen Rostian. He is not letting him go. At Mid-Ohio just 6 weeks ago when me and Cisco were there, Stephen Rostian just drove off into the distance. No one saw him for both races, but at the moment Manning Grinning is not letting him go, and Jos van der Ven as well, he is definitely not. He is still in third, still in the fight, a little bit further back with Stephen Cartner on his tail. Bill Lawrence has got a bit of a gap. Mark Robinson all on his own. John Unsby, and then actually this is the battle between John Hill and John Morgan. John Hill just going around the outside and keeping the outside line there through Ritchie's, being able to hold that position for P number 8 off John Morgan. Bruce Paul is going to round out your top 10 currently. Everyone else in the field looks like we have a train from P12 to P16. That's about all that's left in your field. P12 to P16. That is Kenneth Baldwin, David Riley, Charles Gilly, Fred McIntosh, and Gerard Florison, obviously having a slightly better race than last time, Sam.
Yeah, it was not the first race he wanted whatsoever, and yeah, that gap, those gaps were really close between those lot, and I think David Riley may have just made an error actually. He's just dropped off a little bit. Oh, we got side by side just behind. I think that's Gilly. Oh, he's gone wide there, Gilly, and he's lost a position to Fred McIntosh. So that was a good move from McIntosh, but yeah, Gilly nearly lost a couple of positions there, but remains in 15th position.
Back marker there, just a little bit, no trouble for your leaders, Stephen Rostian, Manning Grinning, and Jos van der Ven, all managing to transverse them. At the moment, your top 4 are all running in a train, so that back mark has clearly done something. Stephen Rostian, though, is still at the front. And remember, Stephen Rostian has to finish 6th or higher to take the championship. Currently, he is leading, so he is in pole position to take the championship off of Jos van der Ven. If Jos van der Ven finishes where he is, he will certainly finish 2nd looking at the points gap. But at the moment, he just looks like he might not be able to challenge. Stephen Cartner as well wants a piece of this 4-way fight for the lead here. Sam, this is going to be an interesting battle to watch as this race develops with 14 laps remaining.
Yeah, they all seem to be really evenly balanced, I must say, and this could be difficult for RaceSpotTV because does he fight with these drivers? He can just let these drivers pass and still win the championship, and I wonder if he's thinking of the bigger picture or whether he just wants to finish this season on a high and kind of let, if something happens, it happens, I guess, could be his mindset. But yeah, he could just drop behind these guys, finish in 4th position, take the title, but I'm sure the racer inside him really wants to win this race.
I mean, Sam, you're a racer, we know that. You've won championships in the DP, and if you're in Stephen Rostian, what would be going through your mind at the moment? You know that the championship is at stake. You've been in this position before, in fact, and what would be going through your mind at the moment, knowing that if you make one tiny mistake, that could be the championship gone?
I think you just got to make sure that you don't drive too risky, I guess. Don't do anything kind of stupid. Just make sure if you're side by side with another car, just give them plenty of room. If you lose the position, it's not the end of the world. And just think, at the end of the race, you could win the championship. And, you know, whatever position he finishes in, I think the championship is the most important thing here. So he just needs to make sure that he doesn't make contact with anyone. We've seen the amount of incidents out there today in both races. So easy to make a mistake around this circuit, so he just needs to make sure that he doesn't make a mistake.
Obviously, Snetterton isn't it is, in fact, if you run the 300 layout, it's the second longest circuit in the UK, Sam. And okay, we don't see the high profile series that you may see at Brands Hatch with the Block Pain Sprint Series, or even Silverstone with the FIA World Endurance Championship or the Formula 1. But I think the most famous thing we have at Snetterton is the 24-hour 2CV race that we see every year, coming back in August this year again. And I mean, it's not a big circuit, but it's popular among drivers, I believe.
Yeah, definitely. It's got a great flow to it in the end, and some of the corners down here are really iconic. So certainly this 200 layer. Oh, there's a spinner. Oh, and that's I wasn't sure.
Stephen Rostian.
Yeah, Stephen Rostian. I think he may have tapped a back marker into a spin. Not quite sure there, but we're going to have to get that on replay, of course. And yeah, he's just gone into the back of him. So I was talking about don't take any risks, and he's just made contact. So down into P3 now, and with a little bit of damage. Oh, that's he must have butt supplies in his stomach right now.
Small love tap to Jose Carlos Campo Danico, I think, is the way to put that there, Sam. And Stephen Rostian's going to be behind Jos van der Ven, still in a position, though, to take the championship. And another thing, back markers as well at this circuit. I mean, we do have the long straights. We have the Senna straight and the Bentley straight. But as soon as you get into the tight, twisty bits, notably the bomb hole as well, there's not much place to pass.
No, certainly not, and really close for Van der Ven. He's not quite close enough to get past Grin. He seems quite happy to stay behind Grin, but like you said, yeah, really difficult to pass at some of these corners. We saw in the first race how the battle for second, third and fourth really got close because of the back marker, and it really affected the final standings, so they do have to manage that very well. And it seems like Stephen Rostian hasn't lost any time. He's 3 tenths behind his championship rival, so seems to be fine there. That damage hasn't affected him too much.
Yeah, it's not at the moment. Obviously, Stephen Rostian is going to be keeping close to this battle. He wants to stay as close as possible. I think he will want the win from here, but at the moment, the number 60 machine's just going to be sitting quite nicely in third. Jos van der Ven in second. Manningren is back where he belongs, in the lead. He took the race win in race 1. Can he repeat it in race 2? He has got some stiff competition from behind, though, in the form of Jos van der Ven and Stephen Rostian. It's going to be interesting to see if he can take it, and he will be defending hard from that 167. As we go, Jos van der Ven going to go onto the inside. Is that the optimal line coming down into Brundle? Yes, it is. Jos van der Ven is going to take the lead. Manningren is going to drop back down to second. Is Stephen Rostian? No, he's not. Manningren is going to go for the move down into the bomb hole. It's going to get tight, and yes, he does it, dumping Jos van der Ven out wide. Here comes Stephen Rostian, not going to be able to make advantage off of that. Good pass there by Sam, but good pass there by Jos van der Ven into Brundle, and Nelson just wasn't able to keep it. Oh, Manningren gets loose out of Murray's, and he's going to drop down to third. Is Stephen Cartner going to take advantage of that? Yes, Manningren is going to go from first to fourth in one corner.
Yeah, now it's Stephen Rostian on the inside going into turn 1. Can he make it? Yes, he can. Can Jos van der Ven come back going in to Wilson? Yes, he can. Going down into the inside, but he's just going to stay behind. Maybe line up for the S's to try to make the move. He's certainly going to have a good run here.
Yeah, maybe. Let's have a look. Jos van der Ven, is he going to be able to challenge? Yes, he is. They're going to go inside, outside. Stephen Rostian, he's only just gained back the lead. Is he going to lose it as quickly as he gained it? Jos van der Ven showed that the inside line is optimal, but Stephen Rostian, actually, Big lock up there. And, oh, was there contact? We don't know. Look at Stephen Cartner here. He's going to try and come through the middle of these two. No, he's not. He wasn't able to get Stephen Rotion, but Cartner up to second. Jos van der Ven has gone to first to third, with Manning grinning behind. These four are putting on a sterling race. They've only got 9 laps to decide this. Not really sure why Rotion is going so hard on these guys. He's got a championship to keep up here, Sam, and I maybe think he's pushing a little bit too hard as they just passed another pack marker. Yeah,
he's certainly not leaving any room, is he? But really good fighting amongst those lot. Roasgen with that defence into the S's was really impressive. And now Karkno, really from nowhere, he's just picked up on others' errors, and he's now up into second place and looking really quick out there. So he's really close coming onto the back straight now. He might have a chance going into the S's, or he might just stay behind. He's closing down to about 0.2 of a second. He has a look to the inside. Maybe he's going to outbreak him, but no, just stays in behind. He knows that there's going to be better opportunities later on, and he just maintains that second place.
Not long left now, Sam. 8 laps, 16 miles left to transverse around this Snetterton circuit. At the moment, Stephen Rotion is defending hard and defending like a trooper from Stephen Cartner in second. Jos van der Ven will want to go out on the season with a high, most notably with a win, probably Manning Grinnen as well. He'll want to repeat what will happen in race number 1. Hopefully he can get that. These 4 are still only covered by 1.3 seconds, and they've all got draft to one another, so it's all to play for as we head into turn 1 on lap number 16. Manning Grinnen currently in 4th, Jos van der Ven 3rd, Cartner 2nd, and Stephen Rotion, your championship leader, leading the way.
Yeah, and Karkner just dropping a little bit off this time, so he's not going to have the chances going into the S's. Just looking at battles further down the field, Bruce Paul and Andrew Fiddler trying to make his way back up through the field, and they've just got 0.4 between them. And that's pretty much the only battle going on out there. Only,
Whoa! Sorry, Sam! Contact between Stephen Cartner and looks like Stephen Rotion as well. Rotion's managed to come off that pretty well, I believe, but Karkner, he has got big damage. He is down, and he is down to 4th now. And he has, yes, Stephen Cartner, his race is over. He is slow coming through the bomb hole. Rotion has managed to keep it going. Has he got much damage though, Sam? That is the question. What is going to happen with these two? I can't see from my position at the moment. Just going to try and move my camera in closer so I can have a better look. His car looks clean at the moment. Looks like it was only a tiny tap, but it was enough to take Stephen Karkner out. And wow, that was almost Stephen Rotion's championship over there. He was so close to losing it. Jos van der Ven must have been grinding his teeth watching that coming through Nelson.
Yeah, Karkner came from so far back, it seemed, and just, really bold move. I don't think it was perhaps worth the risk, but, yeah, Karkner was driving so well out there, really good race for him, and his race is now pretty much over now, so, still Roasgen somehow leading the race despite that contact, and like you said, I don't think he's got too much damage. A little bit of contact onto his rear right tyre, but I don't think it's caused any damage, so he should be fine. But he is driving on the edge right now, considering he's got a championship to win. He's leaving nothing in the bag.
Considering, or if iRacing had punctures modelled, I think we probably would have seen a puncture there from Stephen Rotion. He would have had to come down onto the pit lane. That would have given Jos van der Ven the lead, and he would have lost the championship. So I think for Stephen Rotion, that plays into his hands slightly there, Sam, but he is going to carry on leading. These top 3, Roasgen, van der Ven and Grinnen, all covered by sort of 1.4, 1.5 seconds at the moment. Bill Lawrence has managed to wait. Bill Lawrence is now currently sitting 4th. He's got a big advantage back to Mark Robertson in 5th. So it's just going to be a case of, for Roasgen now, he's got a bit of a gap, 0.8, 0.9 back to Jos van der Ven. All he needs to do now to get it back home, Sam, is just keep it clean, keep it steady, and just try not to make any mistakes. He's only got 5 more laps to go. That's only going to be about 5.5 minutes, 5.5 more minutes, and he can get his hands around that championship trophy.
Yeah, but Jos van der Ven is closing in again down to 0.7. He's closed in by about 0.2 on this lap. So, well, of course, van der Ven wants Roasgen to make an error or be involved in an incident. So he's going to throw the kitchen sink at him pretty much. And just go for any move possible. And Manning Grinnon's still in there, a little bit under the radar in the past kind of 10 laps or so, but he's still there, just watching these front two, waiting for an hour.
Looking a bit further back into your field to the 80 and the 117 between John Hill and John Morgan. These guys have been pretty good all day, Sam, and they're going at it again for P number 7 now. John Hill is currently just leading John Morgan at the moment. John Morgan is someone who we have seen up at the front before, usually in other places. Obviously, Snetterton we have raced in this series before. It wasn't broadcasted, but they used the 300 layout, and today they are on the 200 layout, the slightly shorter one, the more suited to club series, really. And John Morgan at the moment is looking strong, just using that draft from John Hill to his advantage, just looking for that opportunity. As actually, are they going to go side by side into the S's? Don't think John Morgan is going to have the run. They're going to go side by side into Brundle, and no, John Morgan's going to back out of it. So at the moment, John Hill, John Morgan, that battle stays pretty solid. As actually, is he going to get a run into the bomb hole? No, it all just falls apart coming through there. There isn't really enough room to overtake, especially coming down through the bomb hole into Coram and Murray's.
Yeah, he just needs to get a good run through Murray's, and he should have a chance going to turn 1. But to be fair, there to John Hill, that was a very good run through Murray's, and he should be okay going to turn 1. But he just needs to get a good run through here. Otherwise, he could be under pressure going into turn 2. I'm not sure if these drivers have been swapping positions too much, but seem really evenly matched. And going defensive here is John Hill going into Wilson, and on the outside there, no, Hill's just going to hang on to it, but he's not got much of a gap here, and I think Morgan might have him going into the S's at the end of this straight.
Jos van Ven is certainly on a charge. Last lap, 1 minute 5.175. Your fastest lap of the race here today, ladies and gentlemen. We are almost into the 104, staying with that battle between the 80 and the 77. They're going to go side by side into Brundle and Murray's. And I think John Morgan has actually managed to get past John Hill. He's had that optimum inside line. We've seen other drivers use it before today, and he's done it again. John Hill obviously not wanting John Morgan. Looks like he was right on the edge of the grip of that car, just able to get it through that corner. John Hill, he is already fighting back. Let's see what he can do. Is he going to be able to get the draft coming down the straight? 3 laps remaining now, 3 laps in this championship. And here we go, John Hill, John Morgan, they're going to go side by side. Hill's going to move in towards the wall, getting extremely close onto the pit lane exit now, Sam. And no, he's just not close enough. John Morgan just managing, oh no, wait, Morgan's round. And yeah, that's the end of that battle there, Sam. And has he collected anyone else? No, he hasn't. He is moving again safely, but that 177 machine, he is now down to 9th position, and he is moving again. So unlucky there, but John Hill has managed to get that position back. Unlucky end there for John Morgan.
Yeah, that he was defending so hard there going into turn 1, and apparently he got a little bit of a tap from John Hill. So yeah, really tight battle from those two, and Morgan's dropped back. He's still in P9 though, so he hasn't lost any positions. Lost about 6 seconds because of that. So he's just got to make sure that he beats Bruce Paul now and Fred McIntosh, because they're not too far behind him.
We're gonna look back towards your lead now, because it looks as though Stephen Rostian, Van der Ven, and Manning Grinnon have all closed up. That was close between Grinnon and Jose Carlos Campodonico. Then Van der Ven and Rostian, they're going to be going at it. Just 1 more lap remaining of this championship. What's gonna happen? Who's gonna take it? Van der Ven or Rostian? Who's your bet, Sam, for the win?
Oh, I don't know. I think Van der Ven looks good, to be honest. I think he looks very fast. Manning Grinnon on that last lap, though, was 9/10 faster than Stephen Rostian. And now here goes Grinnon on the inside, going into the coat. But no, he can't quite make it. He's just going to have to stay behind. And they're both dropped back now, so I think Van der Ven may have made a little bit of an error, and Rostian's opened the gap up to 1.2 seconds. So yeah, he's going to struggle to make that one up and take the race victory. So perhaps Rostian is who you should put your money on now.
Just 1 more lap for Stephen Rostian, 1 more lap from championship glory, and 1 more lap for ruining Jos van der Ven's day. But here we go, Manning Grinnon is going to be looking to take that 2nd position off of Jos van der Ven, although the gap has now come down to 1.1 seconds. Don't think it's enough for Jos van der Ven to be able to challenge Stephen Rostian. He would have to go for a mega dive bomb down into either Brundle, Nelson or Murray's, and I just don't think he's going to be able to make it. Here we go, Stephen Rostian leading through. Manning Grennan not close enough to attempt a challenge. I have a feeling this is how they're going to cross the line unless one of them makes a mistake. Now let's have a look. Stephen Rostian now coming up towards Coram. 2 more corners from Championship Glory. 2 back markers up ahead. They are not going to be a problem for these 2. Or these 3 drivers, sorry. And Stephen Rostian is going to come out of Murray's. He's going to go wide, just missed the gravel. And there we go. He's going to come up towards the checkered flag. Stephen Rostian, your race 2 winner here from Snetterton, and your 60 plus Racing Adventures 2018 Season 1 champions. Josh Van der Ven is going to take 2nd. Manning Grennan is going to cross the line 3rd. What an end to a race.
Yeah, that's how you want to win a championship. Stephen Rostian really deserves the championship, deserves that race victory. Superb from him out there. John Hill just crossing the line here, just ahead of Andrew Fiddler, who was on that comeback drive late on. Couldn't quite make it, but yeah, back to Stephen Rostian. Brilliant drive from him. I don't know if he was driving for the race victory or the championship, but it doesn't matter. He's got the championship, he's got the race victory. A perfect race from him.
It certainly was. Stephen Rostian is, of course, your 2018 champion. We saw him walk Mid-Ohio. He didn't quite walk this one today, but he has definitely had a good challenge from everyone. And let's go down to your final results. Stephen Rostian is going to be your champion and your race 2 winner. He crosses the line first. Jos van der Ven just 2 tenths behind, and Manning Grennan in 3rd. Bill Lawrence is going to come home 4th. Mark Robinson in 5th, and John Unsby in 6th. John Hill 7th. Andrew Fiddler is going to be 8th. John Morgan in 9th, who we saw had that moment in the final few laps. And Bruce Paul is going to round out your final top 10 of the season.
Fred McIntosh comes home in 11th, David Riley 12th, followed by Gianni Respaldo, Kenneth Baldwin, Stephen Karkner, who had that spin we saw early in the race with that back marker, I believe. John Fletcher in 16th, Jose Carlos Campinogo in 17th, Richard Valley in 18th, Charles Gilly in 19th, and Rob Kern rounding out the top 20.
And on to your one more person who finished the race. Richard Coulomb, who was 9 laps down, didn't take the start, joined the race a bit late. Non-finishers are going to be Jared Thorson, PJ Sully, Joel Martin, Remigo de Pasqua, and a did not start for Paolo Bonacera in the final round of the season. Well, Sam, just before we go down to all the interviews, what can you say about that race?
Well, because this is the first time watching this series, and it certainly delivered. That second race was absolutely superb, just like the first one. But for the race victory there, I think it was just so close. Rostian must have made contact 3 or 4 times out there, and yet his car just never seemed to get damaged. It was a brilliant drive. I mean, Jos van der Ven, you got to give credit to him because he pushed Rostian right to the limit. I think a champion's drive from van der Ven, but it just wasn't to be today.
So, myself and Sam, or while Sam has been talking, I have run myself down the stairs from the commentary box down to the end of the pit lane where our top 3 are waiting. And first of all, we're going to be talking to your championship winner, Stephen Rostian, the number 60 machine. Stephen, first of all, congratulations on the race win and also the championship. We saw some calamities out there today. Just take us through some of the incidents that happened.
Oh man, that was an awesome race for me. First of all, I forgot that I had a race this evening. I wanted to back to a Monza race in the Starmats, and then I saw it on the homepage that RaceSpot was sending a live TV. Oh man, I thought, hey, you have to go, and fortunately I could make it to the second race, so that was quite good for me. Yeah, Yeah.
No, carry on.
I did not have an optimum qualifying because, I need time to find the rhythm and have training time on the day, and so I started 3rd. But fortunately, get to the top first lap already. But then the guys behind me, they made a lot of pressure, and I really had to fight hard to.
Now, Now, obviously, you are the champion. Did you know what you had to do to become the champion in this race, or were you just or did you have no clue at all?
I just did what I ever do. Try to push as hard as I can without going too much risk. And I couldn't get rid of the guys. They were so fast. They were still behind. Yes, and tried an overtake, and I didn't calculate that.
Now, obviously, looking forward to season 2, you're going to be reigning champion. Are you going to be back to defend that championship, or are you going to let someone else take that glory?
Let's see. I will not be there the whole championship for some private reasons, but I will be there. Let's what I can.
And obviously, before you let you go and just celebrate your win with your team, obviously, who would you like to thank today?
Well, I would like to thank RaceSpot for the great show, and I would like to thank all the organizers of this. They have done an awesome job. I know that that is a lot of work to do.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Your Season 1 champion, Steven Roostjen. And next up, we're going to have Jos van der Ven, who's going to be standing by with Sam Fitzpatrick.
Well done there, Jos. That race was just so chaotic. Was there ever a point where you thought, oh, Steven's lost this, I've got a chance at the championship, or were you always just eyes down, focusing on the race victory?
I'm not quite sure I understood your question. It was with Steven losing his car?
Yeah. Did you ever think that Steven was were you thinking about the championship out there, or were you just focusing on the race victory?
Of course, I was focusing on the race victory. It was... I didn't think about the championship. I think Stefan Roostjen was superb all over the season, and he deserves to win the championship. Well, it was a quite exciting race. I think it was a good race to watch, with a lot of battles on the front, position changes. My heartbeat is still very high. But yeah, I think it was a good race.
We saw quite a few issues out there with the traffic. How did you find it? Because there was quite a few problems caused for your rivals out there with the traffic.
Well, I think the traffic is part of the race. Sometimes they are in your way, but they also have a right to race. So we have to take care of that as the faster guys and overtaking, and it's not a problem for me. It's it's a challenge also.
Is there anyone you would like to thank on your for your second place in the championship?
Well, first of all, I must say this is a great league, the 60+ league and 70+ guys. I want to thank everyone for the great season, and especially for the organizers for this league. There are a few people that are very much involved, and I want to thank them. And I'm waiting for a new season.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to seeing you next season. Really well done out there. And yeah, looking forward to see you on RaceSpotTV very soon.
Well, I hope to be there.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. Your second place finishes there, Jos van der Ven. He will also be taking second place in the championship from season 1. And our race 1 winner, who we didn't get to interview because we didn't know who he was, who finishes third today, is going to be Manning Grinnen, and he is going to be joining us now. So, Manning, I mean, before we get on to race 2, first of all, congratulations on your race 1 victory. I'm just going to talk about that for a little bit, because you dominated that. No one could touch you.
Well, I'm not sure that's quite fair, but I did get a jump as through attrition. So if there were no attrition, it would have been a pack up in the front. But thank you.
And obviously, just looking forward to race 2. We had Stephen joining us for that race, so we knew the competition was going to be tighter already. So how was it for you? Obviously, we saw that incident between Stephen and Stephen Karkner, who finishes a long way down your field. He finished in the end 15th position, so he had a bit of a bad day from that second race, although he'd taken a good points haul from the first, I believe. So what was your view on that incident? Because I believe you were still behind at that point.
You know, I wish that I could come back and be intellectual about stuff that happens during the race, but I am so in the second of it, in the instant of it, that, you know, I'm just trying to make it through. So I can't tell you what happened. I'll look back after the race and I'll look at this video after the race and see what's going on. But
so obviously looking forward. Oh, go on.
Earlier on, when Stefan had a problem from the lead. And he was, and I could see that he was not damaged and he was not that far back. I thought, okay, well, this is going to be fun because now we'll see how fast he is. Because while he's in the lead, he can afford to coast just a little bit, but he's got unbelievable speed.
We know that guy's quick because he walks me higher. So obviously looking forward, season 2 is coming up. We know you have taken, I believe you've taken the 70 plus subclass. You're the 70 plus champion, the Super 70s. And are you going to be back to defend that title and back with these guys again for another season next time?
Yeah, if I make it to 71, I definitely am.
And sorry, go on.
The thing about this league is that, you know, this is 60 plus, so, you know, at a glance you go, okay, well, these are a bunch of old farts. But this is a really fast group of people. I mean, a really fast group of people. We leave these sessions and go back into the Pro Mazda series, and these names are up at the top.
And obviously, before we let you go today, who would you like to thank? Manon, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm sorry, everybody. The guys who put this on, Bruce and John, did a really nice job. Stefan is providing setups so that we all are playing on an absolutely level field, and his setups are just spot on. This is just fun. This is the whole group are people that you can drive with. As a generality, you can drive right next to Stefan. You can drive right next to Joss or Bill or Mark or John or any of these guys, and you know they're not going to do something stupid. It's just a pleasure to race.
And there you go. Your third place finishes today, and race 1 winner, Manning Grinnin. He's going to be also the Super 70s champion, the subcategory for the 60 plus racing adventures for those who are even older.
Hugo, Jack, Sam, thank you very much for doing this.
You're very welcome. Thank you very much.
Ciao.
So, Sam, before we wrap up this broadcast, any thoughts from the series that before about 4 o'clock you probably never knew anything about?
Well, I think Manning just summed it up absolutely perfectly there. The racecraft in this series is superb. You can really trust the other drivers, and hearing from every single driver, I think they've all said that the organisers put on a great show. So I think a huge thanks has got to go out to them, and I think season 2 is certainly looking forward to it. I'm certainly going to tune in if I can, and hopefully the racing will be very similar to this.
So that ends our broadcast for the 60 plus racing adventures season 1 of 2018. I am hoping these guys will be back. They have proven for 2 seasons so far that they have put on some brilliant racing. Unfortunately, Cisco Scaramuza will no longer be able to broadcast this series. We wish him good luck in the future, and we know we have had fun with him in the past. But from myself, Jack Stiles, Stan Fitzpatrick, and Hugo Luis out in the production truck, from Istvan Ballau of Track Council Gourmet, Andreas Werner for Andern Designs for designing our awesome overlays, and Valtteri Bottas' Formula One helmet for this year, Simon Grossman of App Engineer, and Nick Thyssen providing our live timing and scoring over on our website. We have been RaceSpotTV. This has been the 60 Plus Racing Adventures from Snetterton in Norfolk, England, and we hope to see you very soon.